Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'm going to return to a country I've not been to for quite a while and take a look at a Dutch 24-hour ration. Now this particular one was manufactured over 6 years ago. It expired 4 years ago, and I know it contains things like pate. So is this going to be my first mark of death video? 5 or 6 year old pate is never going to be good. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack actually contains. And so, as you can see, I now have here on the table this Dutch 24-hour ration pack. Now this particular one I found in my stocks. I've had it quite some time. It is actually expired. I can see one of the mains there expired in 2020, so it's 4 years past its expiry, which means it's probably been in here for 6.5 years. I found this right at the back of some of my old stocks. It's not been particularly cared for. It's not been abused, but it's not been cared for either. It's just sat in the corner for over 4 years. So a little bit worried. I do actually know it contains some pate. 6-year-old pate is never going to be a good thing, but let's get this open and see what this pack actually contains. So as you can see, it comes in a very large Ziploc bag. And straight off the bat, first items out, I'm going to go for the, well, it's obviously breakfast. There are 2 travel lunch breakfast packs. One is instant porridge, the other is muesli with apples and berries. So straight off, there are 2 very large breakfast packs. They should be okay, freeze dried, no worry there so much. There is actually a list of contents here, everything that's in there. So I'm just going to put that to one side in case I need that in a moment. There is 2 more large separate packs, so I shall be removing those. There's a drinks pack and accessory pack, and then there are the other main meals, so I shall take those out next. There's got a lot of contents here. In this particular one, it's white bacon, tomatoes, not sure, I need to do a translation, but I think that's bacon and tomatoes sauce. There is also a second main meal. I will need to do a translation. They are written in Dutch, but they are breakfast and the 2 mains. Now moving on to the follow-on packets. I will do a full translation and let you know what these are in the next menu, in the next video. Straight off the bat, this is what I'm worrying about. There are 3 types of pate. So there are 3 pates, 4 years past their best before date. That's one of the items I'm not overly excited to try. So there are 3 pates. We have some old British Army style biscuits fruit. I used to like those. Let's hope they're still in good condition. There are 2 packets of those, so there are 2 packets of the biscuits fruit. They usually stand up well. There is a packet of the biscuits brown. These are found in the old British Army rations. Biscuits brown still found now. We have some dextrose tablets, so some energy tablets. A very nice looking spork. So that's a nice, well, well, there we go. That's not up to a lot. That's that gone in the bin. Perhaps it's just age. Maybe it's already decomposing. I think that is some jam. It's probably biodegradable and it's already degraded. We have some TP or tissues, whichever the need first arises. We have a chewable toothbrush. I've seen these strange things before. They are a little rubber ball that you just chew, and it's mint flavoured, supposed to scrub your teeth. We have some Menthos sugar-free gum in a tablet style, pill style pouch. They're very different, very unusual. We have what I'm assuming is some, feels like nuts, nut mix. And last but not least, there are 2 little toothpicks. So that is the contents of that first bag. Then we have what I assume is the drinks bag. So already that's a very large, impressive set of contents for 24 hours. So this must be the beverage bag. And in here I think we have 3 tea bags. They all look the same, so it looks like there is lots of sugar. Let's try and get the sugars all together. Wow, very large drinks pack. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sugar creamers, coffee creamer and sugar. So it's probably 4 sugar, 4 creamer. Let's put those all together there. We have, I assume, a soup and a bouillon. So there is a soup and a bouillon. I can see a bouillon. So a gravy style mix. Wow, can't get it all on the table. I need to do a translation. I'm not sure if that would be a coffee, but I'll have to do a translation on that. That is an iced tea or lemon drinks powder. There are 2 iced tea powders. Wow, very impressive bag, a lot of contents. That is a chocolate powder, 2 drinking chocolates, very well packed. Can't get them all to fit. There is another sugar. They are 3 coffees. So you've got 3 teas, 3 coffees, salt and pepper. Wow, struggling to get them all on. And some Sambo hot chili sauce. So this is the very impressive pack from the Dutch 24-hour expired meal ration. So let's get what I would consider breakfast out on a tray and see what that looks and tastes like. And as you can see, I now have here laid out on the tray the components which I would consider breakfast from this Dutch 24-hour ration. And for breakfast there are 2 very large packets of cereals. This particular one is the muesli with apples and berries, and the other one is the instant porridge. Both of these have close to 400 plus calories, so the pair is 800, so there's well over 1,000 calories here for breakfast. I'm also going to have a tea, because being British, who doesn't like a cup of tea for breakfast? And with the 3 pâtés, which I'm a bit concerned about, out of the 3, the other 2 are liver. This particular one is tuna, so I'm going to have to try the tuna pâté with some biscuits brown. Now in the translation, the other 2 main meals were also white beans with bacon and potatoes, and the hot chicken dish or a chicken stew. So those will be in the next video. So but for now, let's concentrate on the breakfast. Normally I like to start on the tea, but both of these need a bit of preparation, so I'm going to start this time with the cereals. Both of them require about 100 to 150 millilitres of boiling water. Even these expired best before 2020, So that's 4 years ago. I would imagine these were made at least 3 years before that, so we're looking at 6-7 years old. But nice open tear strip. I'm not worried about the age with these two. Very rarely go wrong with instant oats or anything freeze dried. So the first thing we need to do is just check if there is any sort of oxygen depleter. So it's got a nice gusseted pocket there. Let's bounce that about. I cannot see any in there, so I'm just going to give it about the 100ml, or best guess 100ml of hot water. I do like my porridges and mueslis a little bit on the wet side, so bringing in the USMRE spoon. What else? We'll just give that a little bit of a mix. So this is the muesli with fruit and berries. Nice gusseted pouch, it stands up well. So that's had a nice mix. So we shall just fold the top over on that, keep it warm, and give it the 2 to 3 minutes it's asking for. Likewise, we now need to make up the instant porridge the same manner. Again, expired 2020. Everything in this expired 2020, so it's 4 years past. This is the sort of age when you start to question, has it survived? You'd expect most rations to last 2-3 years past, but when you start getting 4, 5 and 6, that's when some things start going. So again, just an instant porridge. I shall just bring in, oops, I nearly put the cold water in there. Let's bring in the hot water. I'm sure you could make it with the cold, but I do want hot porridge. Again, I'm struggling for space. Get a good old mix. Good old mix round. Clean the spoon. And again, I think I might have put a little bit too much water in there, but we shall see. And just like the other one. We shall seal that up for a couple of moments. I think next we need to have a look at the tea. There's 3 tea bags in a sealed packet. Again, I'm not worried about this particular item. I've spilt water from the kettle. Let's just bring in a cloth to dry that out a little bit. Let's get a bit of some of that water. And it looks like I'm going to need to bring in an old friend. Slit across the top. So, 3 teas, Earl Grey, English blend, Earl Grey, and an aromatic, is that a fruit tea? So I wasn't expecting that, so I think I shall go with the English blend and just put the others to one side. Just can't go with an English blend, can't go wrong. So I was expecting 3 the same, but it's nice to have a variety. We are going to 1/2 to 3/4 of a mug. And make it how I like it. I've got a stick of sugar. Just need about 1/2 of that. A little bit more than 1/2 went in. And a creamer. Both of these are in good condition, nice and dry. Well, they were until I spilt hot water on them. And I'm just going to use the handle of the spoon because it's got porridge on the top, just to give that a bit of an agitation, help it on its way. I do have an extra sugar on standby in case the porridge and the muesli need a little bit of sugar. Bring in another tissue. Moving on round, we have some biscuits brown. Now these are British Army issue style, different colour packaging. The biscuits brown are usually in a green pack in the British Army. Now, as you can see, it's actually had better days. It seems to be well smashed and crumbled. They've had a lot of damage over the years. There is some good sized bits there. I think there was about 6 biscuits at some time. Last but not least, let's have a look at the least favourite. This is what I'm dreading. This is a tuna pate, and I don't know if you can see, is that going to focus? That also expired 2020. So it's not in a tin, it's very wet. I've gone and spilt water everywhere. I don't know how I managed that, but it just seems to be on the whole tray now. So give that a pull. Oh, there's some sort of separation going on there. There is a liquid film. There's a liquid film. So let's see if that. There is no smell at all. So that's a good start, a good sign. So I think now that tea's probably had long enough to do its thing. It doesn't look like it's the strongest tea. We'll get that out now. And one last thing, as a palate cleanser, I'm going to use some water. There is some lemon iced tea in the pack, but I should be using that with the next meal, so a nice palate cleanser with the water. So, start off. I normally like to start, that is with the tea, so it is strengthened up slightly now. That's a recognisable English style tea, not the best quality, but not the worst either. Despite its age, I didn't expect this to show any problems, especially double packed as it was. There is a slight hint of fruit flavour. I think the fruit tea has slightly come through the packets. The packets were only paper, so I think that fruit tea is slightly flavoured, so I'm not going to hold that against it. Overall, a reasonable, decent tea. Not the best quality, but not the worst either, and certainly drinkable even with that slight hint of the fruit in the background. So let's move on to take a look at this muesli with apples and berries. So again, because I have and because I can, I'm going to bring in a bowl. So that looks like it's absorbed most of that water, and I'm just going to empty those contents to get everything out. So there's 1 or 2 seeds, grains at the bottom still didn't mix. Let's mix those in. And I'm going to give that a little bit more water. Just to give that a couple more seconds, and likewise porridge. Again, obviously you're meant to eat them straight out of the pouch, not bother with bowls, but for demonstration and to show you guys, it's much better in a bowl. You can see the contents better. So that's all of that one. Good mix. Again, think that's probably just about right for the porridge. So we'll go straight to the muesli. So it's darker colour to the porridge. As you can see, I don't know if that's picking that up, it is a darker shade than the porridge. Both contain oats. So they're supposed to have apple and berries. Good taste of apple. First thing to hit you is the reconstituted apple. It is sweet, it is tasty, reconstituted nicely, soft, sweet, filling, comforting. I think there are a few seeds in there also, like sunflower seeds. I can see some seeds, you can certainly taste them when you eat them. Doesn't need extra sugar. Rich, sweet, lots of apple. The apple really comes through, chunks of apple. You crunch them, they actually feel like real apple squares in texture. Nice, nice, nice. Age is not showing at all. A very nice, good tasting muesli with lots of apple. The berries I cannot find, but certainly apple is prevalent, and a nice sweet muesli. The grains are also cooked. Often you find in muesli the grains are still raw, but those are actually feel like they're cooked in the hot water. So now, same with the plain simple porridge. Now that does have a slight aftertaste. I don't know if it's the milk powder or the whey powder. Something in there that's got a slight aftertaste. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to spit that out. Something, excuse me, something, I'm looking at the ingredients, I seem to have gone off. There is whey powder in there, skimmed milk powder, and palm fat. So one of those components has not made it. Before that, it would have been a nice, tasty porridge, thick, sweet, good consistency. But there is something, the whey powder, the milk powder, or maybe the palm oil, something that's not made the 4 years past its best. Wow, that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that to be bad. Oh, and it was quite bad. Back for the tea. To my mouth. I do apologise if you heard me spitting that into the bin, but I'm not going to risk any more of that. If you was here, I'd offer you a mouthful and see what you thought, but I don't think anybody would risk eating any more of that. So, moving on to the biscuits brown. So they are quite broken. And now they're very soft. Not as sweet as the British biscuits brown. There is age-related flavours there. I wouldn't say these are gone off, but they are softer than I expect, and they do have a distinctive age flavour. I'm trying to be very careful now. I'm trying to make sure to get the full flavour of that before I swallow any. I have swallowed that, that's fine. Moving on. Pate. Tuna pate, no smell, but there is a little bit of an oil slick separation going on. No concernable smell. I don't have to try it with a bit of cracker. It's very wet. Very wet consistency. Try a little bit on the corner of the cracker there. No, no, no. Oh my word. For something which looks so delicate, that is death on a plate. That is the most disgusting thing. Wow. Excuse me. I need to rub that off my tongue. Approximately 7-year-old fish pate in a sachet. I do not recommend that. My word, I can still taste it now. That has fermented, but there is no smell. That is the strange thing. I thought that would have smelt rotten. Maybe it is so old that even the smell has evaporated, but my word, wow. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. I have eaten old rations before. This is a killer. That would kill anybody, I'm certain. That is botulism in a tub. Not touching no more. So, well, overall, I can tell 6 years ago, 7 years ago when this ration was made, these would have been excellent components. The fruit muesli was doing well. I thought from that everything was going to go good. The tea had survived with a little bit of taint from the other teas, but the porridge did not. And the tuna pate is death in a sachet. That really is the worst thing I've ever eaten, and I just hope now that little bit isn't gonna do me any harm. I'm sure it won't, but I can still taste that in my mouth now. Bad, bad, bad. So please join me in the next video where I take a look at the other two main meals, the white beans with bacon and potato and the hot chicken stew. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.